story comes from Indonesia, a land of rich traditions and ancient ghosts. A young couple, Aldi and Lida, just wanted a quiet Saturday night. So they rode out of the city, searching for peace and privacy. They found a narrow dirt road leading into a thick banana grove. In Indonesia, banana trees grow everywhere. But at night, they become something else. Tall, dark silhouettes with leaves that sound like whispers when the wind blows. Lida smiled. This place looks private. So they parked the bike, spread out a mat, and sat down under the moonlight. At first, it was perfect, quiet, calm, still. But then the wind stopped, the trees stopped moving. Even the crickets fell silent. "Did you hear that?" Lida asked. Aldi paused. "What?" "Like something dragging." Then it began. A heavy sound like something hopping. Slowly, on the dirt path, Aldi turned on his flashlight, shining it between the banana trunks. At first, nothing. Then a flash of white, and then it appeared. A figure wrapped head to toe in a white burial shroud. Its face pale, eyes black and hollow, its body bouncing as it hopped forward. In Indonesian Muslim tradition, the dead are wrapped in white cloth when buried. It's called a kain kafan, tied at the head, neck, and feet. It's meant to keep the soul at peace. But some souls don't rest. Some return trapped in their shroud. Unable to walk, they hop. This is the Pocong. The Pocong leapt closer, its cloth dragging across the ground. "Pulang. That's mean go home." Aldi's flashlight flickered, then darkness. Lida screamed. They ran, branches slapped their faces. Leaves tangled their arms, but the sound kept coming. No matter how fast they moved, it followed. They fell into a clearing. There stood a single banana tree, blackened and rotting. At its base, a gravestone. Aldi looked closer. Lida Novelia, .2004 to 2022. He turned to Lida. She wasn't breathing. She wasn't blinking. Her eyes were empty. From her feet, a white cloth began to wrap around her legs and climb up her body. "Lida." From behind, a whisper. She was never yours to take. Aldi turned. The Pocong was right there. Everything went black. The next morning, villagers found a motorbike near the banana grove. Still parked, still upright. On the seat, a pair of sandals, a flashlight, and beneath it all, a torn piece of kain kafan, wet with fresh soil. This story comes from Indonesia, where not every house is empty, even after it's sold. Rena and her husband, Andy, were excited. They had just bought a house on the edge of town. It was old but cheap. Paint was fading, the wooden doors creaked. In the back stood a tall mango tree, its branches thick and heavy. Still, it felt like a fresh start. A new chapter, a new home, or so they thought. On their very first night, Rena woke to the sound of crying. A woman's cry from the living room. She stepped outside their bedroom barefoot. The lights were off, only pale moonlight shone through the window. And there, in the corner, sat a woman in white. Her long black hair fell over her face. Her shoulders shook as she sobbed. "Ma'am, who are you?" Rena whispered. The woman stopped crying. Slowly, she turned her head. Her face was pale, her mouth torn wide, dripping with dark blood. And suddenly, the crying turned into a piercing laugh. Rena screamed, and he rushed in, but the woman had vanished. The next day, Rena told the story to a neighbor. The woman grew pale. That house house. It used to belong to Mr. Herman, his wife. She hung herself in the living room. No one stays long in that place. Rena's heart sank. The living room, the same place where she saw her. That night, the crying returned. But this time, it came from the attic. Andy, trying to be brave, climbed up the stairs. As he opened the attic door, a wave of rotting stench hit his nose. Inside the darkness, a figure hovered, a woman, dressed in filthy white, her hair long, black, and tangled. In Indonesia, she is known as the Kuntilanak, the restless spirit of a woman who died in suffering. She cries to lure the living and laughs before she strikes. The light flickered, and he froze. The figure tilted her head and whispered, "This is still my home." The house went black. Her laughter echoed through every room. From that night on, Rena and Annie were never the same. Objects moved on their own. Crying filled the halls at midnight. And in the living room mirror, they often saw her reflection. Even when the room was empty, the house was new to them, but to her, it had never been abandoned. In a small village deep in Indonesia, there is an abandoned house no one dares to enter. They say long ago it belonged to a man named Sastro, a man whose wealth kept growing, even though his fields were small. People whispered he was keeping something not human. In local folklore, there is a creature known as a tuyul, a spirit, child-sized, bald with dark eyes, summoned by greedy people to steal money. It can slip through locked doors, crawl under beds, and vanish into the shadows, but its service comes with a price: blood. Every Friday night, Sastro locked himself in the back room. From the cracks in the wall, neighbors claimed they saw him sitting in front of a clay jar. He would cut his finger, letting drops of blood fall into a bowl. And then they heard it. The sound of children giggling inside the empty room. Soon after, money began to vanish. Coins, jewelry, even livestock. Families woke in the middle of the night, hearing the sound of tiny footsteps across their rooftops, and faint laughter echoing in the dark. One child, a little girl named Ningsi, told her mother she had a new friend who played with her near the old well. That same night, Ningsi disappeared. She was never seen again. Months later, Sastro was found dead in his own home. His body shriveled as if drained of every drop of blood. His eyes were wide open, frozen in terror. On the dusty floor, villagers discovered small bloody footprints leading into the back room and vanishing into nothing. Since then, the house has been abandoned. No one dares to go near after sunset, but sometimes travelers passing through the village hear it. The sound of a child laughing in the darkness. Some claim in the dead of night they wake to see a small bald figure standing silently in the corner of their room, staring at them with pitch black eyes. They say if you hear coins falling in the middle of the night, do not pick them up, because it might not be your fortune. It might be a tuyul waiting for blood.